person who will assist you with whatever information or procedure you are involved in, whatever information you need or procedure you are involved in. She's replacing Géraldine Carrette, who is now moved to another position within the school. So again, warm welcome to all of you, and many thanks for your interest in these double degrees. I mean, so this is a sort of product we are very, very proud of. I mean, the school has a long history of international exchanges and pride itself of being one of the most international schools of economics in Belgium and to some extent in Europe. So these double degrees are part of that tradition. I mean, of exposure to an rich international experience. I mean, so let me go to the point. I mean, what is a double degree? Let me go in full presentation mode. Let me make sure. Let me go to the definition or the presentation of these double degrees. What do they consist of in practice? I mean, well, we have a very good collaboration with 7 other universities in Europe or elsewhere in the world. I mean, and what we've done with the economics department of these schools or these universities is that we've looked at our respective programs, and we've tried to identify the best that we had in each of our programs, and we have assembled the best blocks and the best courses we've identified in each of these programs, and we've made 2-year programs, integrated 2-year programs with the best that was available on both sides. So these double degrees are essentially a condensed version of the best what you could get here in Louvain and Louvain-la-Neuve, and what you can get in the partner university. So that's for the philosophy. You get the best of the 2 programs. The other key ingredient is that you get that within a time frame of just 2 years, as if you were doing your degree only in Belgium, only in Louvain-la-Neuve or in Namur. Okay. You will spend 1 year. At some point, you will spend time in Louvain-la-Neuve. You will spend 1 year in Louvain-la-Neuve or Namur, and the other year will be with the partner university. The exact sequence depends of the double degree you would be joining. Okay, but I think there you get the key idea. So the advantages are the ones that are listed there. I mean, there is one thing that you should have in mind when you look at that slide. I mean, we are in a world, and I think it's going to be more like that in the future, where the labor market for economists will be quite different depending on whether you stay within Belgium or within Wallonia, or you move to an international position. That position can be based in Belgium, it can be based abroad. But I mean, there is a tendency nowadays for the labor market for economists, but it's true also for other disciplines, to be segmented with a local versus a more international labor market. And of course, the wages and the sort of responsibility you can get access to is higher. It's larger. The set of responsibility is larger if you get access to a more international position. Why do I talk about that? It's because I think that these double degrees offer you the opportunity to join the more international labor market and get access to these better paid and more interesting, I would say more richer position. So, I mean, in a slightly more classical way, I mean, the advantage is the one that you see there on the slide. I mean, you will, if you participate to these double degrees, you will acquire a very solid and valuable international, not only academic, but also cultural experience, okay? You will experience different worlds, different academic traditions, and different cultural traditions, okay? You will spend a whole year with a partner the university, another university. I mean, and unlike a traditional Erasmus exchange, you will be fully integrated in that partner university. You will be fully registered in that university. You will not just be visiting that university, attending a few classes. You will, from the outset, from the very first week of the year, you will be integrated, fully integrated then in that university, and you will be treated exactly like the local students. The same is true by symmetry for the students from abroad who spend 1 year at Louvain. They consider exactly as UCL student. Okay. By the way, feel free to already put your questions or your comments in the chat. Okay. You will have plenty of time to raise your question, but don't hesitate to use the chat to list the thing you want us to talk about. Well, next advantage is, of course, related to language, the acquisition of proficiency in a foreign language. I mean, a whole year, for example, in a program fully taught in English means that you will be able to present yourself after that as perfectly bilingual economist, capable of working in English, not just understanding English, but being able to write, to read, to talk in English. And many of these universities insist a lot on you presenting a lot of things. I mean, most of our partners, by comparison with UC Louvain, have a richer experience when it comes to oral presentations, seminars, participation, active participation to class and other activities. Okay. Other advantage, and not the least, I mean, you attend these universities for 1 year without having to pay the local tuition fee. So you pay the Louvain, the UC Louvain, the French-speaking community of Belgium. You pay our fee, and that gives you access to the partner. I mean, that represents a lot of money sometimes. I mean, the disadvantage is quite large because most universities outside the French-speaking community of Belgium charge more. So you get that benefit of the Belgian, the French-speaking community price when you move to a partner university. For example, you can do a double degree with the University of Bocconi. The price of doing that master with Bocconi, if you pay the Bocconi price, is in the range of 4,000 to 5,000 euros. You get access to Bocconi at the Belgian price of 840 euros or 43 euros max, I think, if I'm correct. I mean, you get 2 degrees. You get 2 degrees. That's the last advantage. You get the 2 degrees. I would say for the price of 1 plus epsilon, because there is a little bit of an effort you have to do to get these 2 degrees, but you get the 2 degrees for the price of 1. I mean, within 2 years, you get the UC Louvain degree, and you get the degree of the partner. So you end your graduate studies with 2 degrees instead of 1. So let me now move to the list of partners we have. We have a double degree with the University of Maastricht, not far away, but I mean, it's a very, very nice university. It is very famous for its small groups of students. Everything is done in small group, and you have a very proactive pedagogy. We have 10 places there. Now we have 2 double degrees in Italy, one with the university called Unimi or Statale. There we offer 4 places. The focus is on economics and political science, I mean, political economy. As I said, we have a double degree with the University of Bocconi. For there, we have four places. We have a double degree with the University of Warsaw. In Poland, we have a double degree with the Katolika in Lisbon. We have a double degree with the probably the best university of Brazil, which is the University of Sao Paulo. And then we have a very interesting double degree with a university in Colombia, University of Medellin, which is a relatively recent university, but is improving fast, and they're very, very keen in increasing their international presence. So we have a very nice collaboration with them. We get the visit of a lot of Colombian students. So that's also a double degree that I strongly recommend. I mean, of course, you can ask plenty of questions about the particularities, the specificities of each of these destinations, of each of these partners. We are there to answer your question. I won't go much further as to the description of these destinations or these partners. I just want to attract your attention on the fact that in the last column, we describe whether the double degree we talk about is a research degree versus a professional degree. You know that in economics here at Louvain, we have two tracks. One track that it prepares you to the PhD. It's called the research track. And then we have a track that we call professional or general track, which is, as the name suggests, I mean, it's more general and it's more applied. So here you see that depending on where you go, where you would go, it would be either for the research track or for the more general, more professional track. So keep that in mind. I will now give the floor to Valérie-Anne. Valérie-Anne, I'll let you present the rest.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on my behalf. As Professor Van den Berg said, I'm pretty new to this position, but I'm hoping to learn fast, and I'll definitely be available for any questions in the future. So I will try and go to the next slide. Vincent, did you give me?
I think you just have to click.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
I got it. So it's a standard application process whereby you first have to fill out an application form and give us some relevant. Sorry, I'm just gonna let this person enter. Relevant documents that will help us assess your application. The deadline is the 1st of February, so that's after your January exam session. Following that, you'll have the interviews, so you'll be invited by us to just tell us more about your motivations, for us as well to assess your English, etc. That should happen already a couple of weeks after you've applied. So mid-February is it's the deadline. Following that, you'll have a pre-selection outcome. I say a pre-selection outcome because the final selection can only occur after your June exams and seeing whether you've passed all your exams. So the pre-selection outcome will be known early March, hopefully, and as I said, the final selection at the end of June at the latest. Alors. A bit more information about the application form. You can always refer to this slide, but otherwise everything is on the ESL website. There's this application form that we ask you to complete, but first, what we ask of you is that you take a really good look at all 7 programs that are offered. And depending on whether you want to go into the general economics or research economics direction, this is going to influence your decision, not just the destination. So once you've completed the application form, we ask you to also put in to add a cover letter, just standard. Why do you want this, and why do you think you're a suitable candidate? We asked for some official documents, such as the transcripts for your undergrad studies, and we want as well your January exam grades. So that's important for us to do the assessment. What is strongly recommended, if you have one, is a copy of your TOEFL or IELTS or Cambridge certificates, just to show us what level you've obtained in English. That's optional, but that's great for us to have if you have them. Your test results are grey or GMAT, and an ID photo. This is for the UC Louvain students. If you happen to come from the University of Namur or Saint Louis in Brussels, then we ask one extra thing from you, which is 2 letters of recommendation. If you could put it all into one PDF and send it to me as per the details at the bottom of the slide, that'd be great. Now the interview is just a little bit more information about this. So as I said, it'll be just Professor Vandenberg and myself. So and you. We'll ask you to just, it's a discussion. So we just want to know why you're into this, and we want to give you more information as well, and explain maybe a bit better what the host institution's expectations are as well. So you get the full picture. Important to note that it'll be conducted in English, and that is why we're also doing this presentation in English. We just want to assess your level. As mentioned by Professor Vandenberg, it's quite essential that you are able to not only write, but be able to express yourself in a small class or present orally at a seminar. You've seen in the previous slide that the places for each programs are limited. So sorry, it's going to be a first in, first served principle that's going to apply there. We've already covered this, but the outcome will be known to you early March, and the final selection after your June session. So we'll be in contact with you via email, but I've got my office here in the school as well, and you're more than welcome to come and see me. Just a little bit of information about the funding. Because there is funding, not only you don't pay the tuition fee at the host institution, except in Maastricht, you can also apply for some funding. You might be familiar with the concept. It's different names for different destinations. So anything that is related to within Europe is called Erasmus+. If you want to go overseas, outside Europe, it's going to be FAME. I've put in there the minimal amount per month. As you can see, the amounts are not huge, but they are already quite good in terms of letting you cover some of your traveling costs and living expenses, and possibly language courses if you want to do more, especially if you go to places like South America, Brazil. You might need to polish your Portuguese, etc. Just so that you know, as part of the application to get some Erasmus or FAME funding, you will be asked to take a test in English. It's called OLS, which is online learning something. Sorry, forgot. Yeah. This is by no means something that is going to go on any of your transcript. It's really just to self-assess what your level in English or Portuguese or Spanish or Italian might be, if that's what you want to do. And it will give you a possibility to do some online courses still with OLS. Of course, we've got the Institut des Langues Vivantes as well here, so make use of that if you think you need to improve on your English. You've got time now, you've got time during your stay, but just keep that in mind for these really awesome programs. More information, the link that we've put in the presentation here below at the bottom of the slide. And just to finish off, just some information, some URL links on what we've just talked about if you want more information, and also our contact details. As I said, feel free to come and see me. If I don't have the answer, I'll find out for you. So there you go. And now we'd be very happy to give the floor to you. And if you have any questions, just please shoot at us. We'll do our best to answer them.
Thank you very Rian. So the floor is yours. Huh? So I see that Yolan de Bar, you have a question?
Restate your question, please.
Sorry, Yolan, maybe your microphone is not on.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Can you restate your question? Because I'm not sure I understand what you say in the chat.
Okay, is it possible to do this double degree master with any of proposed master in our in our study, or is it with specific masters?
But it is a master as such. So if you join the ESL, so if you qualify to, I suppose you would qualify to join the ESL because you've done a bachelor in economics and business here at Louvain or elsewhere in the French-speaking community of Belgium. But I mean, you would the one way of joining the ESL is to do these double degrees. So you should see them as masters in their own right. So you can do a master entirely at ESL. You would spend 2 years with us at ESL. It can be a research master. It can be a more applied master, more general or applied master. But you can also say, I joined the ESL via one of these double degrees. So you should see them as options at ESL in their own rights. Is that clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay. Laura, you got the floor. I mean, tell us what's your question? I would like to know, since when is the Cambridge diploma sufficient to attend this master? What do you mean by Cambridge diploma?
Are you referring to the English test like TOEFL and IELTS?
Yes, because I saw in the slides that the Cambridge diploma was also sufficient.
Yeah.
So,
well, by the way, let me be clear. Strictly speaking, I mean, there's no formal requirement of having these Cambridge proficiency certificates or TOEFL. I mean, it's a plus that you if you have these documents, if you have.
okay, so it's not required.
No, what is required is that we evaluate your level as being good enough.
Okay.
During the interview, we will evaluate your level of English. If you go to a university where English is the main language used, we will evaluate your level of English. That's what matters. We are flexible, but we want to be sure you have a minimal level of proficiency before we send you.
Yes, of course. Okay, thank you.
And then one way to reassure us is to, if you have taken these tests recently, is to put them into your application file. Okay, but it's not a condition to be selected.
Okay, thank you.
So I see other questions in the chat. Raoul, the excellence criteria. What does it precisely mean? Well, I mean, the philosophy of these programs is that we want to pick students who will profit from these programs at a minimal academic risk. So it's not pure elitism. Of course, I mean, if there is a lot of competition for one double degree with a limited number of places, we will give the priority to the student with the best grades, the best results. That should be clear. But leaving aside this scenario where there is a lack of space, a lack of slots, I mean, we will open the double degree to anyone that has a minimal level in terms of results. We want you to show us that you can be successful. And by successful, we mean not having plenty of courses to repeat or resit. We want you to show us that you can do a program within a certain amount of time and be successful. I mean, so any of you with a good record at UC Louvain or elsewhere, it could be Namur, it could be another university, but a good record, the demonstration that you can, within a year, successfully complete 60 credits, I mean, 55 credits, that sort of record. I mean, we would consider you as a serious candidate for the double degree. If by contrast we see that you particularly recently you have a lot of red in your transcripts, we will consider that as a potential problem, a potential source of problem, and probably we won't select you. Is that clear? Raoul? Yep. Okay. I see another question by Angela. Could you use the microphone and raise your question?
Yes, sorry, I was a little late and
No problem.
I didn't understand well if we can choose to go in the first year or in the second year.
No, it's not up to you to decide when you move abroad. It has been decided by us. I mean, by us with the partner. So it can be either the first year or the second year, and it depends on the double degree. So to answer your question, you need to go and look at the program corresponding to the double degree, the different double degrees, and see whether the mobility is during the first year or the second year.
Okay. Vincent,
yes.
If you want, I did a quick spreadsheet showing where the first year takes place and where the second year takes place. I could try and share it to the group. That might help to get.
Or you put the link. You put the link in the chat, or you share it with us now.
I can save it, and yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna work if people can access it. If I put only a link, I was going to just stop the slides and put it there on the screen, if that's okay.
Feel free to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will get the answer immediately.
Hopefully, if I can figure out how to get this on.
Yeah, it's visible. Anyone can see.
Yeah.
So awesome. I'm going to read it for you. For Maastricht, you are in Maastricht the first year, and you see Louvain second year. For Milan, the Unimi Statale, you begin in Louvain and then you move second year to Milan. Bocconi, it's the other way around. First year in Bocconi at Milan and then second year in Louvain. Sao Paulo, first year with us, second year in Brazil. Lisbon, first year in Lisbon, second year in Louvain. Warsaw, first year. Louvain, second year. And then for EAFIT, it's a little bit more complicated. We moved to the southern hemisphere. And for that reason, because they have a specific academic calendar. The arrangement is that you spend the first and you have 4 semesters in all, and you spend the first one in Louvain and the last one in Louvain, and in between you are in Medellin. So the two semesters in the middle you are in Medellin. Is that clear for everyone, in particular for Angela?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions?
Sir, I have a question regarding the grades. Is there a minimum required grade average for us to be accepted? Because you spoke about having a certain credits for our unis. Shouldn't we have a lot of red? Yeah.
I mean, it's a case by case screening process. We look at every of your application files, and then we have this interview with you. So we don't want. I mean, we don't want to put some floors. I mean, there would make no sense to put a ceiling. But I mean, there is no absolute floor. I mean, we just. I mean, of course, if you fail, if you have a record where all or many of your courses have failed, I mean, particularly those of the last session of exams, we will tell you that no. Now, I mean, if you are a successful student, but I mean, with very borderline results, and knowing the degree of difficulty of the destination, because that's something we keep in mind. I mean, and there is a bit of heterogeneity across the 7 double degrees. I mean, they're not all equivalent. We might tell you now, I mean, for example, Bocconi, with an average of 13, it's too low. Because, I mean, this is a very demanding program, and only students with 15 plus tend to be successful within that program. For another destination, I mean, 14 on average would be good. I would say, I mean, if you really want a floor and indication, I think that you should have, on average, 14 plus to reassure us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly clear. Thank you.
And of course, I repeat what I said. I mean, if for one destinations we have a lot of candidates, we will always give the priority to the students with the best results. So if you happen to be in competition with someone who has 18 on average, plus grande distinction, that person will get the priority. That student will get the priority. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Which destinations are usually the most difficult? That's a question by Laura Fanois. Well, I mean, it more or less coincides with the distinction between the research and general or more professional degrees. I mean, it's clear that, I mean, to attend a research-oriented double degree, you need to be at ease with modeling, with theory, with advanced econometrics. This said, I mean, there might be another type of difficulty, which is the intensity of the workload. Let's take Maastricht, for example. It's a good example of a program that might not be very difficult in the sense that you will be required to do a lot of maths and algebra and that sort of thing. But it's a program that is very intensive. From the very first week, you are asked to do work on cases or prepare presentations. So your workload is quite high, and it's very evenly distributed over the whole academic year. It's a bit different than what you're used to here in Belgium, where you tend to work more just before the exams. Although we tell you that's not necessarily the best strategy, but it's what happens in practice. But at Maastricht, you have no choice. I mean, you are put into very small groups, and then you are asked to present. You are asked to, well, sometimes you're asked to replace the professor. They do these inverted classrooms, and they do that all the time. So the difficulty there is the rhythm, the work, the capacity to produce all these essays and prepare all these cases during the whole semester, not just before the session of exams. Is that clear, Laura? Are you with us, Laura? Yes. Okay, no problem. Other question in the chat, or feel free to open your microphone and raise a question. It can be about philosophy, about the difficulty, about more practical issues. Don't hesitate to raise questions. They're most welcome. Everything is clear? if some of you, I mean, I'm going to wrap up the presentation now, the session now, but I mean, if it's okay for all of you, fine. But I mean, those of you who might have questions and feel more comfortable to raise them, say, more privately, I mean, we will remain, both Valériane and myself, we will remain available over the next 15 minutes. So feel free to contact us directly via Teams. Just put our names in the search window, and then we will take your call. Is that fine? And then, of course, I mean, at a later stage, anytime from now, feel free to ask Valériane for an appointment, or myself. We will be happy to answer your question. Our philosophy is really to give to most of you the opportunity, to as many as possible students, the opportunity to have an international experience. And we think that these double degrees represent a good opportunity. Of course, there will be some selection, but we try to be intelligently selective. We put a floor. I mean, we don't want just to send the very best students. We want to send as many students who are above a certain threshold. Okay. Fine. I'll leave you there, but feel free to call me or Valériane right now or at a later stage.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
By the way, I mean, this discussion, this presentation has been recorded, so it's going to be available as a video on the website. I mean, Valérie, can you say a word as to where this video will be available, and by definition, the PowerPoint also?
Yeah, it's going to be available on the School of Economics Louvain website. There's a widget called International and Double Degree. So I first need to get my access to actually make changes to those pages, but we'll aim to get that to you as soon as possible, and we'll upload that PowerPoint presentation as well. So yeah, it'll be right there on that very first page concerning those double degrees. Fine. And if you can't find it, feel free to shoot me an email.
Okay. Okay. Have a good afternoon. Take care, and we are there to help you, to assist you. Bye-bye.